Halloween is just around the corner, and what better way to spend it with a survival horror game? Now, what I mean by survival, I mean I gotta risk my jack-o'-lanterns to play through this game. And what I mean by horror, I mean true horror. If most of you guessed it right, it's Luigi's Mansion, one of the several launch titles for the GameCube, Nintendo's new console released on November of 2001. My first impressions of the game were very high, mostly because the graphics I seen at the time were kick-ass. Around Christmas Day of 2001, I got my GameCube along with Luigi's Mansion. First time playing it, it was pretty sweet. When I go back to play it again, it got boring. Now, before any of you send me hate mail, which some of you are doing at the moment, let me get the chance to say that I don't hate this game. I just don't like it not only as a launch title for the GameCube, but also as a Mario game, which it isn't. If you remember my 100 video special, I commented about Luigi's Mansion's gameplay as a ridiculous idea. Most of you are probably wondering why. Well, here's why. The story is about Luigi, who just won a mansion for a contest that is never explained in the game. He tells Mario about the news and plans to meet each other at Luigi's new home. May I ask where Mario was when he was told about the news? Was he in a forest taking some shrooms? Anyway, Luigi arrives at the new mansion with no Mario in sight. He enters the mansion, which, to surprise, is haunted by ghosts. Luigi's hide was saved by a little professor, Professor Egad. He was in the mansion because the ghosts he collected from before went missing and is trying to get them back. To his problem, he's too old for the job, so he gives the job to Luigi so that Luigi can find Mario. Now here's the concept of the gameplay. In the game, you play as Luigi, who uses Professor Egad's latest invention to capture ghosts, the Poltergeist 3000. Or it's just called a vacuum, I don't care. You'll capture a variety of ghosts throughout the game. You'll also collect 3 medallions, each with their own element, which will be used later in the game. The premise of Luigi's Mansion is to capture each ghost in one room so that you can open the next door via key. Throughout the game, you'll also encounter portrait ghosts. Unlike regular ghosts, which you can simply use your flashlight on them, you have to find a way to expose portrait ghosts. Try everything you can find by using the vacuum. In each area, you will need to capture a lot of ghosts in each room. Open a chest that will possess a key that takes you to the next room. Once you capture every single portrait ghost in each area, you'll get a boss key that will obviously lead you to the boss. Beat the boss and you'll get a key that will take you to the next area you couldn't access previously. In addition, you'll find some gold coins and dollar bills that will help you raise your ranking for the end of the game. The more gold you collect, the higher your ranking will be. You also have the option to capture booze, which you'll also find later in the game. This option, though, is required to access the end of the game. Now let's get the pros and cons out of the way. The gameplay control works very well. It gets tricky at first, but it'll take a short time to get used to. Graphics are just stunning. Besides the variety of detail that Nintendo implemented in this game, no comment. Sound and music isn't so bad. The music sets the mood, especially the setting, while the audio is grade A Nintendo quality. You have from the ghouly sounds of many ghosts that surround you to Luigi's humorous voice acting. Now for the cons, and this is a doozy, let me tell you. For one thing, I think the concept of Luigi using a vacuum to capture ghosts is a ridiculous idea. I mean, the first reason is that I personally think it should have been a launch title in the first place. Not to mention, this is Nintendo's way of taking an old idea, and placing their own Nintendo character, and bam, it's an original idea. I'm sorry, but I don't see this as an original idea. It's just a mere gimmick. Personally, it should have been a Mario game with platform elements set in the Haunted Mansion, with various level design, with Luigi as a second playable character, or vice versa. Now sure, you have Sonic with platform elements just like Mario, but here's the thing. Sonic is faster than Mario. And to be specific, I'm not saying that a franchise shouldn't need to rip off a genre. I'm saying that having Luigi starring in his own game with only just capturing ghosts, while Mario can do so many various styles of gameplay, such as shooting fireballs or flying with a cap, is pretty unfair. I mean, look at Yoshi. He had his own game, and he has the same platform elements as Mario. If Nintendo really wants Luigi to shine, at least give him something more than just a vacuum inhaled ghost. Sure, Luigi has the medallions, but that only helps in the addition of capturing other ghosts. It's just a bit unfair in my personal opinion. Now that this short run is over, let's continue. The length of the game is just terrible. If you sit down and play this game all the way through, you'll beat it in about 6 hours. And for a GameCube title with such promise, it's disappointing. Take Super Smash Bros. Melee for example. It had so much variety, much better than the original Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64, in my opinion. You had Classic Mode, Adventure Mode, Collecting Trophies, All-Star Mode. You had so much unlockable content to find, it's ridiculous. But it raises the replay value, which is what Luigi's Mansion lacks. Now, by length, I've meant that Luigi's Mansion should have had more content after the game is beaten. Sure, you have the Hidden Mansion, but it's just the same thing, and I see very little differences whatsoever. You know, I think I may know the reason why Nintendo's took the lack of length perspective for Luigi's Mansion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I would like to call Nintendo's seal of anti-longevity. You see, several games like Super Mario Bros. Or Legend of Zelda for the NES utilizes this. When you beat the games for the first time, you're treated to a second quest. Luigi's Mansion takes this concept since it does take place in a mansion. But still, this was 2001. Gamers were expecting more of the game because this was a GameCube title. We all moved away from the NES's early gameplay mechanics and are heading to new consoles that takes new concepts for the gaming industry. Overall, this game is mostly a rental, and it's a standard Nintendo title in its finest. If you really wish to buy it, just simply beware of the lack of linking in the game. This is T4 saying, Happy Halloween. Hey, Squeakers.
Yeah?
You just realized that we went through a Halloween special without a